Democrats' report obtained by CBS News projects that artificial intelligence and automation could replace 100 million jobs over the next decade. A ChatGPT-based model was used for the report. It says technology could replace 89% of fast food and counter workers, for example, along with 64% of accountants and nearly half of all truck drivers.
And while we're talking about jobs, a new manufacturing facility in Walton County bringing over 150 new jobs to that area.
MGM Products says it's investing more than $38 million to build a new plant in the Piedmont Regional Industrial Park in the city of Monroe. It'll need between 150 and 175 new hires for the plant over the next 5 years. The company's current headquarters is located in Conyers. MGM Products makes accessory products for the commercial HVAC industry. Monroe's Mayor John Howard calls the company's move a significant investment that strengthens the local economy and creates high-quality jobs for residents. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
All right, if you're headed out for lunch, cloudy, breezy, cool today, light rain showers, areas of drizzle, highs around 74. It's going to be windy, too. Some of those winds could be gusting up to 25 miles an hour. So how's the rest of your work week shaping up? WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast at 12:05. Now to Cobb County, police there say that a 38-year-old driver is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries after a weekend crash on I-285 northbound near the merge with I-75. The woman from Marietta was driving a Dodge Avenger involved in the accident with two other vehicles. Police say the Dodge hit a GMC Envoy, then spun into an adjacent lane, hitting a Hyundai Konya. The driver of those vehicles, as well as one passenger, taken to the hospital for treatment of minor injuries. Police say the crash is still under investigation. Crews are getting to work today on a new major water project near downtown Dunwoody. It could impact you if you're driving in that area.
Crews will be replacing an iron water pipe near the Dunwoody Nature Center between Roberts Drive and Redfield Road. DeKalb County says the Dunwoody Knoll water main replacement project will stretch almost 3 miles. It's part of the county's capital improvement program, totaling more than $4 billion to improve water capacity and watershed service. It warns of increased noise and traffic through the area. Work's expected 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday until October of next year. Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
The DeKalb County school system taking another look today at how much recess time should be slotted for elementary school students.
Parents like Lynn Marsh expressed concerns early in the school year after finding out recess time at elementary schools had been cut to just 15 minutes.
The American Academy of Pediatrics, the nation's leading voice for children's health, calls recess crucial for optimal childhood development.
Other parents say 15 minutes of physical activity is simply not enough. After a public petition was started, a panel of parents, teachers, and principals have come up with some recommendations to share with the school board today. Lisa Nicholas, 95.5 WSB.
Now to Washington and the government shutdown.
There's nothing for us to negotiate. The House has done its job.
It is day 6 of the shutdown, and so far no progress has been made. Senate Democrats demanding concessions in health care spending. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson there, though, saying from his perspective there's no room for negotiation.
We passed our bill. We did the job to keep the government open, and now it's on the Senate Democrats.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
We'll sit down with anyone, anytime, any place in order to reopen the government, find a bipartisan agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people. We need a spending agreement that improves the quality of life of everyday Americans, that doesn't hurt everyday Americans.
And meanwhile, thousands of federal workers here in the metro area are off the job today as this shutdown drags on. The Roswell Police Department tells us that they're going to be moving their headquarters to a new location. It is 1080 Holcomb Bridge Road. The phone numbers will stay the same. The move was done to improve accessibility, resources, and technology. If you have to fill up the car, you're going to pay a little bit more. Gas prices up here in Georgia. AAA saying that we're paying an average of $2.89 a gallon for regular unleaded. That's about 12 cents more than we were paying this time a year ago. Rising crude oil prices and global tensions are pushing prices higher. And finally here at noon, the harvest moon's about to rise. Yeah, the first supermoon of the year will reach its full phase just before midnight Eastern time tonight when it reaches the point in the sky 180 degrees opposite the sun, and that'll make it appear much larger and brighter than usual. It is 12:05. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 115 at 46,643. NASDAQ is in positive territory, up more than 0.5%. The S&P is also in the green. Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Andrew Seco joining us now from the 24-hour traffic center. How are we looking on the roads?
Looking pretty well for the most part. We do have a little trouble as you're leaving the theme park. I-20 eastbound packing in. Might have something jamming you up right at 285 exit 51. We're stretched back a couple of miles already. Breakouts in the downtown connector, 75-85 south between 17th Street down towards North Avenue. And we're still slowing to go in 85 south packing in leaving Duluth. Slow from 316 down towards Beaveroon Road, exit 102. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
And it's time now for Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored here at noon by Shoemate, the official plumber of Atlanta. Here's WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards.
With areas of light rain and drizzle, today's high is 74. Staying cloudy tonight, lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, a little more sunshine, heating up to a high of 79. Then more cloud cover on Wednesday with a few rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder as well. Wednesday's high is 82. A cold front sweeping through late Wednesday night will bring cooler temperatures for Thursday afternoon with highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Friday, partly cloudy skies, high 71.
All right, we'll have more news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Okay, friends, it's the 5K a day bonus blitz. The noon keyword is winner. WINNER, winner. Enter the keyword winner into the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 12:30 p.m. to enter the keyword. Win $1,000. The keyword is winner. WINNER. Don't forget, if you get a call after 12:30 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Good luck.
Hello, America. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. Yes, it's true. I got retweeted by Elon Musk. How does that look? 20 million impressions on my tweet. Why did Elon Musk tweet me over the weekend? Well, it's the top story today, and it's starting to explode. And it's the top story today, but I got to point out to you, thanks to National Review last week, if you listen to my show on Friday of last week in the third hour, you were ahead of the story. You knew about this story before it made major waves over the weekend. I got to it first on the radio. Jay Jones, the Democrats' attorney general candidate in Virginia, in all sorts of hot water over his text messages. And I got to put this in context for you. It's very, very important that you understand the context here. Jay Jones, in a private text message to a Republican member of the Virginia House of Delegates, said he was upset that the former Speaker of the House of Delegates in Virginia had the audacity to say nice things about a dead Democrat at that dead Democrat's funeral. You understand this, right? This is all the context you have to have here. This is very important. You understand. The Democrats have nominated Jay Jones to be their candidate for Attorney General in Virginia. And in 2022, in a private text exchange, Jay Jones was upset that the then Virginia Speaker of the House, Todd Gilbert, said nice things about a Democrat at that Democrat's funeral. And Jay Jones's response in a private exchange was to wish that Todd Gilbert, the then Speaker of the House, would be assassinated. In fact, he said if he was given 2 bullets and said to pick between Pol Pot, Hitler, and the Speaker of the Virginia House, he'd put 2 bullets in the Speaker of the Virginia House's head, and then had the audacity to take it a step further and say that he wanted the Speaker's children to also die, preferably in the arms of their mother. He wanted to assassinate the Speaker of the House and watch his 2 children die in their mother's arms. Because in his words, you have to know tragedy to change your political opinion. You have to suffer. And he wanted Todd Gilbert to suffer. He wanted Todd Gilbert's wife to suffer. That's the Democrats' attorney general pick. And as you know and I know, your private text exchanges, you're not playing to the crowd there. You're being candid and honest. And in his candid honesty, he wanted to assassinate a politician from another party for the audacity of saying nice things about a Democrat at a funeral and also kill the man's 2 kids. You know what the real scandal is, though? The same man, Jay Jones, was arrested in Virginia for doing 116 miles an hour in a 65-mile-an-hour zone. He was sentenced to 1,000 hours community service in lieu of prison. He spent 500 of the 1,000 hours working on his own political campaign and filled out the paperwork to obfuscate what he was doing so the judge didn't realize he was doing political fundraising for himself as his community service. That's the real scandal here. The man who wants to be the Attorney General in Virginia used his community service sentence to politically fundraise for himself. That's the real scandal. But what's really going to get the traction in the aftermath of 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump and the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the other violence of progressives out there these days is that this man in a private exchange wanted to murder a politician and his 2 children and said that casually and defended himself, insisting it was the case, that it was not somehow out of line for him to want to do these sorts of things, that it was normal, par for the course, just him in a private conversation wanting to murder the Speaker of the Virginia House and his 2 children, and not a single Democrat will tell him to get out of the race. Not a single Democrat. In fact, the Speaker of the House in Virginia, the current Speaker, the new Speaker, the Democratic Speaker, Speaker Scott, actually went to a church and stood in a church pulpit and told the congregants in the church pulpit to ignore it all.
So we need to understand something. We have to be mature in our thinking and how we vote. We can't get distracted because they want us to get distracted by a text message here or something else. Stay focused.
You got that? Stay focused. Now, here's the galling part. The Speaker of the House, Don Scott, in Virginia, he started his speech this way.
Thank you, Tavares. Thank you, church, this morning. I want to thank you all for having me up here today. I come, first of all, with two things on my mind. The first thing is a good friend of mine, a delegate from Prince William County. Her name is Candy Munden King. Last night, I got a call about 3 a.m. And it's a great time to have to come to church. I was planning on being here earlier, Pastor, so I apologize for my tardiness. But I was in Portsmouth minding my business and planning to come straight here. But at 3 a.m., I got a call that her 15-year-old daughter had died. She had suffered from sickle cell anemia her entire life. She died a painful death with her parents watching. Her dad actually was the one that tried to resuscitate her, and she died in his arms.
That's the Speaker of the House in Virginia, Don Scott, who begins this speech in a pulpit behind a cross in front of a stained glass window of Christ, telling this congregation about Candy Munden King, a Virginia House of Delegates representative who lost her daughter Saturday night. The daughter died in her arms. And he ended his speech telling those same Christians in that same church to ignore the text messages of the Virginia Democrat Jay Jones, who wanted another mother to watch her children die in her arms to teach her a political lesson. That's where we are with the Democrats in Virginia and nationally who won't do anything. Now, I got to give it to Joe Scarborough, actually, on Morning Joe. Joe started this conversation off on MSNBC, and you're probably not going to hear about it anywhere on MSNBC other than his show, where he has editorial control.
Coming up, an attorney general candidate in Virginia is apologizing for his texts about a state lawmaker. We'll go through what the messages said.
Probably be forced to withdraw from the race, and probably is doing a lot there.
All right, Morning Joe will be right back.
That was this morning, and then here's the conversation that actually Joe stepped aside and just let the progressives talk. Listen to this.
They were text messages, horrible. I didn't want to read them out loud. How did I'm wondering how the text messages came to light.
Deeply disturbing messages that have been swiftly condemned across the political aisle. The Republicans have tried to tie this to the Congresswoman Spanberger, the gubernatorial candidate. She did very quickly denounce them. But it's unclear whether this attorney general candidate will stay in the race. I think there's a growing sense that he probably should not. We heard President Trump last night, but even some Democratic leaders, John Hyman, have started to say, like, look, this is inappropriate. You can't, and especially at a time right now with such concern about violent rhetoric and political violence.
Who says that?
Yeah, that this is just way beyond the line.
I would say, not to be too much on the high horse. It's wildly inappropriate under any circumstances today, tomorrow, 10 years ago, 6 months ago. I think the pressure is going to be on Spanberger and for the party to ask this candidate to just quit the race, because just both, it's the right thing, and also the political splashback. You don't want to mess with this right now.
Who says that?
The right thing to do is basically this guy should do everyone a favor and step out of the race.
Yeah. Now, notice though that they won't actually say what he said. Mika does, and they were too horrible to say. Let me tell you what he said. Actually, you know what? Let me play the Winsome Sears ad now, targeting Abigail Spanberger, the Democratic candidate for governor in Virginia, who is a very milquetoast candidate, who is a very focus group candidate, who refuses to answer questions from the press, hides to avoid answering for the press. When she does, it always ends. Abigail Spanberger's been on the campaign trail campaigning with Jay Jones, the Democrat. Listen to this, and you'll get a sense of the man's text messages as Winsome Sears, the Republican candidate for governor, incorporates some interviews the guy has now had to do as damage control.
We start with breaking news from the campaign trail.
Jay Jones is under fire tonight.
Jay Jones is under fire.
Jay Jones is under fire after messages he sent in 2022 saying former Virginia House Speaker Todd Gilbert should be shot.
I'm excited about this ticket. It's been great to be out on the campaign trail with Jay Jones.
You said Gilbert's wife could watch her own child die in her arms so that Gilbert might reconsider his political views.
We deserve an attorney general who will stand up for the people of Virginia.
Jones said, quote, Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head.
Let the rage fuel you.
Jones doubled down, saying, quote, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes.
How can Virginians trust a man who said something so horrific, so callously?
Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy.
You got that? That's what Jay Jones said. Only when people suffer personally do they change their mind on policy. He said that Todd Gilbert and his wife were evil and breeding little fascists. And he wanted Todd Gilbert to get 2 bullets in the back of his head while his wife watched the kids die. That's who the Democrats have put up in Virginia. And all of the loud voices who scream, but Trump, oh, you Republicans, but Trump, they can't even denounce this. The Democratic politicians, on MSNBC, they're saying Democratic politicians are starting to come out and say you should drop out. Not a single Democratic politician has done that. That's spin. That's not truth. No Democrat has come out, including Abigail Spanberger, to say Jay Jones should just get out of the race. They won't do that. Why? They don't want to lose the race. They're putting their political opportunism ahead of what's right, and they say that's what Donald Trump does, and it's wrong. So it's wrong when Donald Trump and Republicans do it, and by the way, I agree. But they're doing it now, too. They're allowing Donald Trump yet again to set their behavioral parameters. They say this stuff is bad, it shouldn't happen, but Donald Trump does it, so it's okay for them to do it, too. You know who's a beacon of moral clarity here is David French. No. David actually went online and risked the ire of the left who have now embraced him and said Jay Jones should drop out of the race. And if you're on the left and say, but the Republicans are worse, then you're part of the problem. We can normalize cause for physical violence, or we can step back from the brink. That's the choice. He's right. And the Democrats are doubling down on he should stay in the race. Democratic operatives in Virginia are, first of all, they're trying to say this is AI, but Jay Jones has now admitted it and apologized for it. And then the national spin. It would not have come up on Meet the Press except for my buddy Mark Short.
can I also say in your interview with Leader Jeffries that can we stop with the pearl clutching about the mean tweets and sombrero tweets? That this week it came to light that a Democrat candidate for Attorney General state of Virginia called for the assassination of a political opponent, called for the assassination of that political opponent's family, and there's not one national Democrat calling for him to step aside. Not one. It's disgraceful.
Nero, let me let you respond to that because that is going to be a big story, I think, in the coming days.
I mean, I absolutely think people should criticize that 100%. I think it was a private conversation he had, but still awful and disgusting. Wasn't calling for it public, but terrible. And it should be condemned. But then we should condemn that. But then you should condemn when the president calls the Democratic Party the party of Satan.
Yeah, in all fairness.
Why don't we just say both of those things?
I think I've paid the price for saying for political violence on our side.
But yeah, I agree with that. But let's just criticize other Republicans or the president for not saying Satan.
Notice how she's trying to shift it, and she says, but it was a private conversation. That's important. Yes, because Democrats are having lots of private conversations wishing death on Republicans, which is why she's willing to say, oh, but it was a private conversation. Don't look at hers, I suspect. But that's what makes it more damning, is Jay Jones wasn't out on the campaign trail blustering like Donald Trump does. He was having a private conversation with someone saying that another politician needed 2 bullets in the back of his head and his kids needed to die too. That's where the Democratic Party is right now. After 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump that they cheered on, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and this party seems a little bit too comfortable with the idea of assassination.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
1221 in the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center moving right along. Had some trouble. Looks like it's cleared. I-20 eastbound right at 285 exit 51. Still a little bit slow as you leave the theme park. Brake lights back toward Riverside Parkway exit 46. And the brake lights to the downtown connector 7585 south. Volume taking you from 17th Street down towards Freedom Parkway. This report sponsored by Callaway Resort and Gardens. Get away this fall to Pumpkins at Callaway, glowing with day to night fun happening now through November 1st. Book your stay today at CallawayGardens.com. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
Okay, friends. It's the 5K a day bonus blitz. The noon keyword is winner. WINNER, winner. Enter the keyword winner into the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com/cash. You have until 12:30 p.m. to enter the keyword. Win $1,000. The keyword is winner. WINNER. Don't forget, if you get a call after 12:30 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Good luck.
This is Scott Slade, updating my health story. I get a checkup every year, and last September, my primary care physician was troubled by a suspicious number on my lab work. Well, that led to a diagnosis early enough to give me options, and I'm more optimistic than ever about a good outcome. Now, when we're talking about our health, level with your providers if you think you have a problem. We all need expert eyes looking us over every so often. That's where virtual imaging can be invaluable. Virtual Imaging's LDCT body scan can give you time and options for early treatment, especially for cancer. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is extending their core body scan offer for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response, they've opened up more times in both offices. But appointments will fill up fast for this offer, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your Virtual Imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. That's virtualimagingatl.com. Do it now, while you still have options.
Nobody wants to think about their septic system. Hi, I'm Shannon. I started Scorpion Septic so you don't have to. My licensed, insured, experienced team responds 24/7 with fast, on-time service, upfront pricing, and high-quality work.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic, where there is never a pump-out charge with your repair. Call for more information. ScorpionSepticServices.com.
ScorpionSepticServices.com.
Save money by getting pre-approved for your next auto loan at Coosa Valley Credit Union. We offer the most competitive interest rates in the market, as low as 3.49 APR when you open an account with direct deposit. This is Andy Harris, President of Coosa Valley Credit Union, inviting you to stop in a branch near you. You'll experience kinder banking with real people, not automation. Plus, with 11 locations in Northwest Georgia, we're always local and nearby.
Contact 706-235-8551 for more details. Equal Opportunity Lender.
At Rocco's European Garage, they specialize in providing full service and repair for any Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Land Rover, or European vehicle. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Visit one of their 6 locations for top-notch customer service, including clear upfront pricing, your approval prior to beginning work, and a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker. Your vehicle fixed right the first time with shuttle service for more convenience, always a better value than the dealership. So do what I do and get your car serviced at Rocco's European Garage.
Starting a business takes grit and fortitude, but to keep it going requires taking care of customers like family. That's our motto, and my family's been sticking to it for decades. Hi, this is Daniel Jape, and you can count on Jape Services to provide quality care and price transparency for your home's heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. At Jape Services, we're a family-run business, and I personally guarantee to treat you like family as well. JapeServices.com.
Jape Services. Hey folks, Dave Baker here with a quick tip. When it comes to garage doors, longevity matters. Overhead Door Company of Atlanta has been serving Atlanta homeowners since 1935. That's 90 years of doing it right, day after day, door after door. Sure, new companies pop up claiming to be number one, but for real trust and experience, there's only one original overhead door, the one with the red ribbon on the trucks. Longevity matters. Quality matters. Call 404-USA-DOOR or visit overheaddooratlanta.com.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You can be live on Eric's show by calling 877-97-ERIC. That's 877-973-7425.
Hello, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, I would love to have you. Don't forget, text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. You can get the show notes, the live stream, the podcast, and so much more. I would absolutely love to have you get the show notes and follow me around social media where I did lots of cooking this weekend, including made a Basque cheesecake. It's from the Basque region of Spain. They're fantastic. They're actually not that hard to make. And then my wife's stupid dog decided that he wanted the cheesecake for himself. Even made a homemade caramel sauce for it. Did not end up well last night. I tried to get Christy Nome to come visit. She was unavailable last night to take care of our dog. Was not happy with the dog last night. Nonetheless, did watch a good football game. Y'all, Bari Weiss is taking over CBS News, and she has released a memo. The reporters at CBS News are deeply, deeply unhappy with Bari Weiss inserting herself into the editorial process of CBS News, which, by the way, someone needs to. And she's a liberal. She's not progressive. She's not woke. And the newsroom is beside itself as a result. I want to get into that and the continued play-by-play of the shutdown when we come back. But first, I got to tell you about Vision Computers. They would love to have you be a customer of Vision Computers. You go to 404 Compute. Well, you call them at 404 Compute, or you go to visioncomputers.com. Let them build a computer for you. They can save you money and build you a machine that's going to last you longer than the one you get at the one-size-fits-all big box store. Not only that, but then you get the world-class customer service, where you get a special phone number. You get to call them 15 seconds or less. They answer the phone. 15 seconds or less. They're going to answer the phone. And they're going to help you with your computer. If you don't know how to do something, if you've lost a file, if something doesn't seem to be working right, they can take care of you in 15 seconds or less, faster than a Google search. In fact, if you're a business, they can save you money. Vision Computers can be your managed IT service. So you don't have the person on the payroll in the office doing IT. You get Vision Computer and your employees get that phone number they call them, 15 seconds or less, they get the answer. No email, no AI, real human beings. Go to 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com. Let Vision Computer take care of you. Tell them Eric sent you. You might save a little more money.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
We only want to be around people who think exactly like us.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
God forbid you actually converse about the world.
Eric Von Hessler.
Smash and conquer, my friend.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News.
Weather.
Traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. This just in, a woman has been killed in Rockdale County today. According to police, the shooting happened on Salem Road around 8 this morning. Police arrived on scene, found a woman with a gunshot wound. She died at the hospital. So far, no arrests have been made, but police say it does appear to be a domestic incident. No names have been released. All right, it's going to be cloudy, breezy, cool today. Light rain showers and areas of drizzle throughout the day. High 74, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a matter of minutes. This is also new this afternoon. Acting Director of the CDC and Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services Jim O'Neill has now signed off on and approved the new recommendations from an advisory panel on immunization. So it's calling for individual-based decision-making when it comes to the COVID vaccination. And it's also recommending that toddlers receive protection from chickenpox as a standalone vaccine rather than in a combination with measles, mumps, and rubella vaccination. A new congressional report on artificial intelligence and automation shows that it could replace some 100 million jobs over the next decade. It says technology could replace 89% of fast food workers, 64% of all accountants, and more than half of all truck drivers. Speaking of jobs, Walton County landing a new manufacturing facility, and they plan to create up to 175 new jobs over the next 5 years. MGM Products will be located at Piedmont Regional Industrial Park in Monroe. The company's current headquarters is located in Conyers. This facility makes accessory products for commercial HVAC systems. Parents and school board members in DeKalb County getting an update on recommendations for recess. The debate comes following the district's decision to cut recess time from 30 minutes to just 15. Many parents are not happy about that.
Unstructured play improves attention, memory, behavior regulation, and problem solving. In other words, if we want our students to learn more, they need to play more.
That's parent Lynn Marsh says kids need to at least get 20 to 30 minutes of what the district is calling unstructured break time. We are monitoring the meeting. Check back. We'll let you know if anything comes out of it. It's 12:32.
Properties come in all shapes and sizes, and so do foundation repairs. Mark Beckham here. It could be new construction, a big house, a small house, or your commercial property. Anyway, you need the leaders in foundation repair to handle it. Get your free estimate at atlantaramjack.com.
Fall is a busy time, and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
How do we fight for our beliefs while still loving our neighbors and even our enemies? This is Tom Gray with This Stuff Matters, and I'm inviting you to join me and Eric Erickson for a great meal and a great discussion around this topic. Are we at a turning point for our country? Get your tickets at thisstuffmatters.net. Thursday night, October 16th, 7 o'clock, Governor's Gun Club in Kennesaw. This is Tom Gray, and This Stuff Matters.
Thisstuffmatters.net.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
Y'all, it's Eric. Windows 10 is sunsetting. End of support on October 14th of this year. It's also my anniversary. No end of support for my marriage, just end of support for your computer if you're on Windows 10. You got to update. Now, what does that mean, end of support? It means Microsoft is going to stop issuing security patches for your computer if you're on Windows 10. So you actually do need to update for your own good and safety, and Vision Computers can help you transfer to Windows 11. How do you do it? You call them at 404-COMPUTE and say, Eric sent you, I need some help. They can get you upgraded to Windows 11. It is for your own good and safety and that of your company that you move to Windows 11 because of the security updates, if nothing else. So call Vision Computer at 404-COMPUTE or go to visioncomputers.com. Tell them Eric sent you. You might be able to save some money. You got to get it done before October 14th because you're not going to get security patches from Microsoft after that for Windows 10. Let Vision Computer take care of you. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com.
Andrew Seco, how are we doing on the roads?
Working well for the most part. Still a little stoppage by the theme park, 20 eastbound, on and off the brake pedal, leaving Riverside Parkway to 285, and we're slowing the downtown connector from 17th Street down towards I-20. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies with areas of light rain and drizzle. Today's high is 74. Lows tonight in the mid-60s.
We'll have more news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Hello there. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. Delighted to have you with me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have something for you. Yes, I have an exclusive. I am not on in Richmond, Virginia. I'm trying to get on the radio in Richmond, Virginia, but I'm not there. I've got a couple of small stations in Virginia that I dearly love. I think their weekend listens. They're not yet running me live. They're waiting for clearance to get me live. But, my sister and brother-in-law lived in Norfolk for a very long time, the Chesapeake Bay area. My brother-in-law in the Navy spent a lot of time up there. And I know I've got a number of listeners. I can see my live stream listen in Richmond, one of whom is the Attorney General of Virginia, who is a friend of mine, Jason Marries. He's a great, great, great Attorney General. Even the Democrats in Virginia like him, even though they're running Jay Jones against him. And I happen to have now for you the very first airing of Jason Marries' new ad about the Jay Jones text messages. You hear it first, even though I'm not on in Virginia. You're going to hear it first right here.
The Washington Post confirms Jay Jones sent texts that imagined shooting the Republican Speaker of the House. Jay Jones wished the Speaker's wife could watch her own child die in her arms. It's so disgusting. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Jay Jones confirmed that he hoped an opponent's children could die to advance his political agenda. Can you trust Jay Jones to protect your children?
I'm Jason Yarez, candidate for Attorney General. I sponsor this ad.
There you have it. That's the Attorney General in Virginia who is in the fight of his life for a re-election in Virginia in a year when the Republicans control the White House, which means the Democrats tend to be on offense in a place like Virginia. And I talked to Jason's campaign. They said that they were a little concerned about turnout after Charlie Kirk. Virginia early voting has already started, by the way. Yes, I know. It is October 6th. The election is not until November. Early voting in Virginia started in September, and it seemed like the Republicans were not as engaged as maybe they could be. And then after the Charlie Kirk assassination, we have seen this massive, massive engagement of Republican voters. And here now, after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we have the Democratic candidate for Attorney General in Virginia saying he wanted to put 2 bullets in the back of Todd Gilbert's head. Now, I want to go back through this ad so that you have the visuals of this ad. I don't need to play it. I'm just going to read you the text messages. 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets in the head. That was the first of his text messages. But wait, there's more. He also said, only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. And that was after he decided that he wanted to have Todd Gilbert's wife watch their child die in her arms. Now, somebody, those "In This House We Believe" signs? Somebody just put one up online and says that this is what we're probably going to start seeing in the yards of Democrats. In this House, we believe Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. He receives both bullets every time. Yes, I hope his kids die. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. Republicans are evil, their children a little fascist. That seems a little extreme. Those were what Jay Jones was saying in his text messages. Todd Gilbert receives both bullets every time. I hope his kids die. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. He and his wife are evil and their children are a little fascist. That's actually what Jay Jones said in a private chat. His candid thoughts in a private chat. And it was only in 2022 that he did this. What still amazes me, and the thing that just makes my brain kind of explode on this, is that the reason Jay Jones had this candid exchange and frank sharing of his views about his hatred for the Republican Lieutenant Governor Todd Gilbert is because Todd Gilbert said something nice about a Democrat at the Democrat's funeral. That's the thing that just like, I mean, of all the things to provoke a response of, I want to put 2 bullets in the back of his head and murder his children, he said something nice at a man's funeral about the man who was a Democrat. And in response to the Republican speaker saying something nice about a dead Democrat at the dead Democrat's funeral, Jay Jones says, I want to put 2 bullets in the back of Todd Gilbert's head and watch his children die in his wife's arm. They're evil and their children are little fascists. This man wants to be Attorney General in Virginia. And, you know, the real irony here is that Jay Jones is a Nepo baby. He's a member of the Lucky Sperm Club. His parents were prominent politicians in the Tidewater area of Virginia. They were prominent in the community, and he used that prominence to rise in politics on his parents' name. And he's running against Jason Miyares, who's grew up in a working class home with a single mom. No dad in the house. What a stark contrast between the 2 men. Now, we got to move on because it is notable now that this story has shocked the conscience. I got to give credit to National Review. National Review, if you read the show notes today, National Review broke the news on Friday, and I was the first radio show nationwide to bring it up. And it has now expanded. It's very notable how very few national Democratic politicians have said anything. Not a single one of them will call for him to resign. You compare it with Ralph Northam. Back in the day, Ralph Northam, remember, appeared in blackface. It was easy for the Democrats to call for him to resign because his replacement would have been a Democratic lieutenant governor. Here, the Democrats would lose the election for Attorney General in Virginia. And because the election's on the line, not a single Democrat so far is calling on Jay Jones to step aside. In fact, the Democratic Attorney General's nationwide campaign, the Democratic, Democratic Attorneys General Association, they're continuing to commit money to Jay Jones. There you have it, my friends. There you have it. It is interesting to me how all of the high-minded rhetoric of the Democrats goes out the window when elections are on the line. Now, we have to move on to the shutdown because it continues to go on. Here's what I'm told by Republican sources in Washington, D.C. The Republicans will cave on the Democrats' health care demands. However, the Democrats have to cave on the government shutdown first. So the Republicans in Washington, D.C., I'm told very reliably, are willing to cut some deal with the Democrats on their health care demands. But the Democrats, they've got to open the government first. This is the way it's worked with Democrats when Republicans shut it down. Republicans agree to open the government. Democrats agree to cut a deal on something or other, typically. So that's what the Republicans want this time. You open the government, we'll compromise on health care. We've got till the end of the year to negotiate something before people get the bill. Thus far, the Democrats are insisting on keeping it shut down. And I gotta say, what I find notable is that even some of the members of the press are starting to hold Democrats accountable for their own prior words. Here's Adam Schiff on MSNBC.
But you actually did make a similar point back in 2013. That's when Tea Party Republicans pushed to shut down the government against Obamacare. Let me play that for you, get your reaction on the other side.
It's more than fair to ask the president to negotiate improvements to the Affordable Care Act, but not with the threat of shutting down the government or defaulting on our debt. It's just no way to do business and can't be allowed to proceed that way, not only for this president, but for future presidents.
That was Adam Schiff, and that was, Meet the Press, Kristen Welker on Meet the Press. And this is her with Hakeem Jeffries.
But let me ask you, because you say this is a Republican shutdown, but it's Democratic senators who are withholding their votes on what is called a clean resolution. That means no strings attached, which is something, quite frankly, Leader, that you and other Democrats have advocated for in the past. Take a look.
You do not use the threat of shutting down government to try to advance your policy agenda.
First thing that the House has to do is pass a clean 6-week CR.
A continuing resolution that is at the fiscal year 2023 levels is the only way forward.
That was Hakeem Jeffries at the end. Yes, my friends. It's amazing now to see some of the members of the press holding these people accountable for their words, which is actually a good thing. Kevin Hassett was on CNBC, asked about the health care subsidies the Democrats want.
Well, the bottom line is that we made some progress with the previous bill, and a lot of people share your opinion about Obamacare. Most of the people who are getting insurance in Obamacare are just being put on Medicaid at sometimes 4 times the poverty limit. And so the thing to remember is that these high subsidies that are expiring because the Democrats passed a bill saying they should expire then because the emergency over COVID is over. So Democrats themselves said that we should take them away, and now they're just trying to use them as a political cudgel to try to score some points.
He's right, by the way, but this is Hakeem Jeffries on the Today Show this morning.
With their billionaire donors.
But again, the majority of folks certainly don't want their health care premiums to go up. And I think a lot of folks are watching this and they're wondering, why fight this battle now? Why not reopen the government and still have these conversations and negotiate over the next few months?
Yeah, it's a really good question. But the time is now to address this health care crisis.
But why now?
Well, absolutely. The enrollment period opens on November 1st. Notices have already started to go out, indicating that premiums, copays, and deductibles for tens of millions of Americans all across the country are going to dramatically increase. For example, a couple that makes $88,000 a year currently, which receives the Affordable Care Act tax credits, pays insurance of about $8,000 per year. That will triple to $24,000 a year right now. That's what people are facing right now, which is why we need to address it.
So we got to address it now. But by your own words, in the past, you got to reopen the government before you negotiate. Only now do they not want to. Here's, again, I am told pretty reliably the Republicans will cut a deal with the Democrats on this. But the Democrats have to do a clean resolution right now. There is some wavering behind the Democrats. Donald Trump continued to hold Russ Vought out there as a boogeyman for the Democrats. Vought meets with the Republicans on Wednesday, and from what I am told, they've given the Democrats this runway to back down on this. And if they haven't backed down by the time Vought meets with Republicans on Wednesday on Capitol Hill, then the cuts are coming, the firings are coming, the shutdowns of portions of the government are coming, because you've got to remember, right now the government is unfunded. There's outside of mandatory spending, there is no current money for any operation in government outside of the mandatory spending and the stuff that pays for itself. Which means the president, being a good steward of the budget, has an obligation and the power to start firing people, saying, I'm sorry, we have no money in the budget for you, you must be fired. All the DEI staffs of every department can suddenly be fired, not just laid off, but fired. Those departments shut down. He hasn't done it yet. I've wished he would do it out of the gate, but he hasn't. I think it's probably time. Time for the president to start letting heads roll within the executive branch and show the Democrats what a president unrestrained by government shutdown can do. He's been Mr. Nice Guy so far, trying to get the Democrats to negotiate. And again, I'm told pretty reliably that he is willing to cut a deal on health care, but they got to open the government first. We'll see if the Rust vote threat made reality after Wednesday changes their minds.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you the truth.
It's the Erick Erickson Show.
12:50 in the Cool Rig Area Traffic Center. New brake lights as you're heading inside the perimeter. We're off to the shoulder, sometimes blocking a right lane. Here we're on scene of the Jam Cam I-20 eastbound Fulton Industrial exit 49. Just a quick tap of the brakes getting towards city limits. 75-85 south, roadwork on the connector, jamming you 17th Street to I-20. And we're a little bit slow, 75 northbound between Canton Road up towards Chastain Road. This is sponsored by Aleve. Traffic and body pain can slow you down, but don't let the pain stop you. With just one pill, Aleve provides up to 12 hours of pain relief so you can keep moving. Use as directed. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
When news breaks,
the A's are 55 and the A's are 45.
We've got it covered.
Funding to run the federal government has just expired and the government shutdown is beginning.
Tune in often for the latest.
Congressional Budget Office estimates federal furlough payments could cost about $400 million a day.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
This is Mike Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers.
And this is Jonathan Geller. And Dad, you ever think we're too honest in our commercials?
What do you mean?
Like telling people we've got the best prices in Atlanta.
It all comes down to the best jewelry at the best prices.
Maybe that's why folks have trusted us since 1939.
Exactly.
In Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Cue the jingle.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
The Findlay Roofing Chief Barking Officer, Rufus, has the zoomies. He's rolling over about saving you $1,000 off your roof replacement. That's a lot of bones. Hey, it's Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Stop repairing the leaks and dragging your feet. For a limited time, save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, this treat ends on Halloween. Schedule your free roof analysis at findlayroofing.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Get Eric's daily show prep email. Text DATA to 33777 and you'll be in the know.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425. I will get to phone calls in the next hour. There's a lot more happening out there, including a man showed up for the Supreme Court's inaugural mass that they do every October 5th, and he had weapons, a Molotov cocktail at least. Who has been detained. Did you hear about this? Now, there's some discrepancy. He could have been mentally unbalanced, could have been a homeless man, all sorts of stuff. But they arrested the guy for what looked like he wanted to attack the Supreme Court justices on their way out of a mass. The Supreme Court term began today. They're meeting in Washington, D.C., and they decided not to take Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal. They have rejected her case at the United States Supreme Court. When we come back, though, the would-be Brett Kavanaugh assassin has been sentenced to 8 years in prison, could have gotten 30 or 40 years, but he has transitioned. And so all of the news papers and news outlets that referred to him as a him months ago are now referring to him as a her. And the judge actually said in sentencing one of the reasons she was giving him a light sentence was because he's transitioned, and now his parents have come to terms with his transitioning. I wish I was making that up, but I'm not making that up. This is how far the progressive left has fallen, a Biden-appointed judge doing this. There are way more details, including the press reaction on this, and I got to get into the Bari Weiss stuff because it's relevant. At CBS News, internal leaking already trying to sabotage her as she takes up her editor-in-chief position, as Paramount has bought CBS, and now it turns out Paramount is after CNN. They want to combine CNN and CBS into a larger news operation. And the progressive wokes at CNN are spitting mad at the idea, but it looks like Warner Brothers is ready to spin them off, and they got the deep pockets and the money to make it happen, and it looks like it's going to happen. I've got those details in the Supreme Court. The would-be assassin of Brett Kavanaugh, who has allegedly transitioned, at least he gets a female prison sentence now. Playing the game. Oh, by the way, you know Abigail Spanberg? She won't take a position on a man on Northern Virginia who shows up in women's locker rooms and watches them because he says he's transitioning, even though he never has. We'll get into more of this. But first, I got to tell you about Old Glory Bank, my bank. They could be your bank. I had the opportunity to use their app this weekend to deposit some cash, and it worked flawlessly. Generates a QR code, took it to a local store near my house. They scanned it, gave them the money, and it was transferred into my bank account like magic. They put it in their cash register, but it showed up in my bank account. OldGloryBank.com/Eric. You can go get a bank account with them as well. Checking or savings. You can do car loans. You can do home loans. You can do CDs. They make it really easy for you. And here's the thing. If you are a active duty military, they waive a lot of fees for premium checking. You can find out more at OldGloryBank.com/Eric. If you're a veteran and first responder, they've got great deals for you. OldGloryBank.com/ERICK. They really are my bank. They can be your bank. Great bank for custodial account for your kids. So much. OldGloryBank.com/Eric. Check them out. A bank by conservatives, for conservatives. Businesses, they've got great accounts for you as well, and they will not debank you. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply. OldGloryBank.com/Eric.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news.
is where you'll live.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
Oh my God!
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBRadio.com or on the WSB radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 2 p.m.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the costs of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless. Because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. 4 men arraigned at the Fulton County Courthouse today in connection with a 2024 shooting near a park that wounded 5 people. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien reporting live this afternoon with what the attorneys for 2 of the victims had to say. Jonathan?
Sabrina, attorney Harold Spence says his clients had their lives turned upside down in August of last year when they were attending a neighborhood cookout in Mechanicsville. Police say 4 suspects had a shootout nearby, and in the crossfire, one of the victims was blinded and another was paralyzed. Spence says this gun violence has to stop.
We talk about crime statistics and crime going up and crime going down, but often we don't talk about the human cost of gun violence, the human consequences of gun violence.
He says they don't plan any civil action right now, but they are committed to getting justice in this case. Reporting live in Fulton County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
It's going to be cloudy and breezy today. Light rain showers and areas of drizzle throughout the day. High 74, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Now to Rockdale County, a woman is dead after a shooting on Salem Road. The sheriff's office saying that when they arrived on scene, they found the woman suffering from a gunshot wound. They believe the shooting is domestic-related. Investigators trying to identify the suspect. There's no known threat to the public at this time. A year-long water project getting started in Dunwoody today.
The project will cover 14,500 linear feet, or about 3 miles, as crews replace an iron water pipe between Roberts Drive and Redfield Road, north of downtown Dunwoody. DeKalb County warns that the Dunwoody Knoll water main replacement project will include extra construction-related traffic and noise during normal work hours, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday. It's expected to be completed by October of next year. As part of the county's capital improvement program totaling more than $4 billion that it says will help water capacity and watershed system service. Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
The Atlanta-based CDC has updated its COVID vaccine guidance. The acting director of the CDC, Jim O'Neill, has signed off on the recommendations from the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. The panel last week recommending COVID shots for those 65 and older, and only after talking with a doctor or pharmacist. If you are under 65 and you want to get the COVID vaccine, you can, but you still also have to get your talk to your doctor or pharmacist first. Like the flu shot, the COVID vaccine does not necessarily stop a person from getting infected with the virus, but it does reduce the chances of severe illness, hospitalization, or death. The acting director of the CDC also signing off on that recommendation that toddlers get the chickenpox shot separately from the measles, mumps, and rubella shot. It's 102.
You've seen them, holiday decorations already up in the stores, trees, wreaths, even the big inflatables. I'm Chris Chandler. Wise Guys Pro Wash keeps my home's exterior looking great, and now my clean home will shine when they put up my holiday lights. They make it simple. Custom design, they provide the lights, install everything, and when the season's over, they pack and store it for me. First-time customers book by October 15th. Mention my name, Chris Chandler, and you'll get $100 off installation. Let Wise Guys Lights brighten your holidays this year.
Jeff and Roxanne here, proud and local owners of Rhino Shield, the ultimate exterior coating for your home.
Rhino Shield isn't just paint, it's better than paint because it will keep your home beautiful, backed by a 25-year transferable warranty. Plus, it comes in any color, even your wife's favorite.
Visualize Rhino Shield on your home and get a free estimate at rhinoshieldga.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
We're having a party and you're invited. Join Cedar Wells Senior Primary Care for our free grand opening party. Come meet our care team and tour the new center. Plus, food, music, games, and more. Celebrate with Centerwell Woodstock on Thursday, October 16th at the corner of Bells Ferry Road and Eagle Drive from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Learn more at CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. That's CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. We'll see you soon.
If someone causes you to lay your bike down, hiring proper representation is critical. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. Don't hire a lawyer because of slick commercials. Hire a local lawyer that specializes in motorcycle injury law. You can trust my friends at Steel Horse Law. Attorney George Stein is a rider and understands bikers' needs. Steel Horse Law has represented thousands of local riders and can maximize the value of your recovery. Schedule your free consultation at steelhorselaw.com.
The Scott Antique Markets is back at the Atlanta Expo Center, featuring hundreds of vendors with collectibles and merchandise from all over the world. We're on both sides of I-285 exit 55 on Jonesboro Road. Visit ScottAntiqueMarket.com for more information.
Hey, this is Mark Aaron for Rocco's European Garage. If you own a Benz, Beamer, Porsche, or any European import, do what I do and get it serviced at Rocco's. You'll get better value than the dealership. 6 convenient locations online, RoccosEuropeanGarage.com.
All right, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Andrew Seco, how we doing?
Doing all right for the most part. Got a trouble spot blocking a right lane, 20 East Fulton Industrial Boulevard, exit 49. Rest of the way, just some volume at the downtown connector, 75-85 south between 17th Street to I-20. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies with areas of light rain and drizzle through the afternoon. High 74. Cloudy for tonight. Lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. High 79. Becoming mostly cloudy again on Wednesday with scattered rain showers. High 82.
72 degrees in Johns Creek at 74 here in Midtown Atlanta. We'll have more news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Hello, America. It is Eric Erickson. Delighted to have you with me. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, I would be very, very happy to have you. Don't forget to text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. The Supreme Court meets today. They begin oral arguments today. If you listen to much of the American media today, they're talking about how the Supreme Court is going to take on Donald Trump this term. And actually, there is some sense that the Supreme Court will have to deal with the powers of the presidency. And because of the aggressive nature of the president, there's some speculation among informed court observers that some of the conservatives may be a little more less willing to give him what they might give other presidents. I don't know that I believe that. I think Amy Coney Barrett, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh in particular, when joined with Thomas and Alito, they're willing to just say, what does the law say? What does the law allow? And not get their personal feelings in the way. And I've got to tell you, I don't know Brett Kavanaugh. I haven't met Brett Kavanaugh. We have a number of close mutual friends, but we ourselves have not met. My belief, and it's not even informed, it's just my speculation, it's just my gut. I got to imagine that this has got to be a little radicalizing for Brett Kavanaugh. A Biden-appointed judge sentenced Brett Kavanaugh's would-be assassin who wanted to kill Brett Kavanaugh and his children to 8 years in prison. Why the light sentence? Because the would-be assassin has transitioned. That's, by the way, from the judge. That's not me. It's not my opinion. The judge noted that she was happy that his act of would-be violence caused his parents to come to terms with his gender transition, and would be sentencing him to just 8 years in a federal prison. This is a Biden-appointed progressive judge. I have a sneaking suspicion that stuff like that will thoroughly radicalize a guy like Brett Kavanaugh, who he and his children and wife were almost murdered by this guy. What's wild to me, and if you get the show notes, you see this in the show notes. The man is named Nicholas Roske. Nicholas Roske, that's his name. And I want to read for you the NBC News tweet. Man who had gun and knife will plead guilty to trying to assassinate Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh. Nicholas John Roske of Simi Valley, California, was arrested near Kavanaugh's home in Chevy Chase, Maryland in June of 2022. Now, that was 5 months ago. Here's the headline now. Woman sentenced to 8 years for attempting to assassinate Brett Kavanaugh. The Supreme Court Justice's wife and mother sat in the courtroom as Sophie Roske apologized to the family. So Brett Kavanaugh was not present, but his wife and mother sat in the courtroom as Nicholas Roske apologized for wanting to murder the Supreme Court Justice, his wife, and his children. And the NBC News 5 months ago referred to him as him and now refers to him as a woman, not even a trans woman. Notice, and this is the selective editorializing of the press corps in America. If you go by Sophie Roske, he's still not a woman, he's a trans woman. A news media that lectures you and me on disinformation and misinformation willfully engages in misinformation and disinformation on transgenderism because the would-be Kavanaugh assassin is not a woman, but definitionally, by the left's own words, a trans woman. And the National Press Corps has decided to drop the trans prefix to woman because they want you to believe that Nicholas Roske is now a woman. So if you want to get a light sentence in federal court before this Biden-appointed judge, you attempt to assassinate a Supreme Court justice and his wife and children. In fact, the judge gave a harsher sentence, a 20-year sentence, to someone found guilty of wire fraud. But because this would-be assassin announced he was transitioning, the judge literally cut his prison sentence because of the announcement he was transitioning. He traveled, in the words of, let's see, credit where credit is due here from the show notes today, my buddy Guy Benson. If you travel across the country heavily armed to carry out an assassination plot against a conservative Supreme Court justice because you're upset about an abortion ruling, then later identify as trans, the news media will promptly blare your new pronouns, and a Democrat-appointed judge will drastically reduce your sentence, citing your special identity status as a factor. That really did happen. Really did happen. Now, all of this gets me to Bari Weiss. Our National Press Corps really needs rehab. And they don't even recognize they need rehab. I want to tell you who David Burke is. You probably have no idea who David Burke is. In 1988, David Burke was named president of CBS News. Do you know what he did before he became president of CBS News? He was chief of staff to Ted Kennedy. In fact, he was not just chief of staff to Ted Kennedy. He was chief of staff to Ted Kennedy in July of 1969 when Ted Kennedy drove off the bridge at Chappaquiddick and killed the woman in the car with him, let her drown. No one in the National Press Corps objected to Ted Kennedy's chief of staff becoming president of CBS News. CBS has now hired or bought the Free Press, and Bari Weiss is now going to be editor of CBS News. Editor-in-chief. She sent out a memo today. Dear colleagues, I'm thrilled and humbled to be writing to you as the new editor-in-chief. Growing up, CBS was a deep family tradition. Whenever I hear the tick, 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 or that trumpet fanfare, it sends me right back to our den in Pittsburgh. The opportunity to build on the legacy with you and to renew it in this era, it's an extraordinary privilege. I imagine you have some questions. I do too. My goal in the coming days and weeks is to get to know you. I want to hear from you about what's working, what isn't, your thoughts on how we make CBS News the most trusted news organization in America and the world. What I can tell you on day one is that I stand for the same core journalistic values that have defined the profession since the beginning. 1, journalism that reports on the world as it actually is. 2, journalism that is fair, fearless, and factual. 3, journalism that respects the audience enough to tell the truth plainly wherever it leads. 4, journalism that makes sense of a noisy, confusing world. 5, journalism that explains things clearly without pretension or jargon. 6, journalism that holds both American political parties to equal scrutiny. 7, journalism that embraces a wide spectrum of views and voices so that the audience can contend with the best arguments on all sides of a debate. 8, journalism that rushes towards the most interesting and important stories regardless of their unpopularity. 9, journalism that uses all of the tools of the digital era. 10, journalism that understands that the best way to serve America is to endeavor to present the public with the facts first and foremost. They're openly complaining at CBS News about Bari Weiss. You know one of the ones that they really don't like in this memo? Journalism that holds both American political parties to equal scrutiny. There are lots of yes buts. Yes buts. It's what we're seeing, by the way, with the Jay Jones stuff and the Never Trumpers. Yes, but you Republicans can't say anything. You lost your moral authority. It's what they're doing. They don't really want to have to toss this guy. They want to put up a wall of defense and say, oh, you Republicans aren't allowed to say anything, but Trump, January 6th, but Trump. They're not having a good day at CBS News. In fact, one of the former journalists out there for Radio Canada replies to this memo and says, without pretension or jargon, in my experience as a journalist, it's a bad omen. It means leveling down, not raising up people with our journalism. It's okay if our audience has trouble with a word or a concept. They usually look it up. Journalism is an education tool, too. Wow. There you go. There you go. We're not here to dumb down. We're here to talk above. Let's go back to NBC and the Brett Kavanaugh assassin. They couldn't even say trans woman. They had to just say woman, which isn't true. 5 months after their original reporting, they have insisted on making down up and up down. The Supreme Court is meeting today in dangerous times. Police arrested and charged a man with possession of explosives on Sunday outside a Washington, D.C. church where an annual mass to mark the start of the Supreme Court term was set to take place hours later. The so-called Red Mass is held each year to invoke God's blessings on those responsible for the administration of justice, according to St. Matthew's Cathedral. A spokesperson for the Supreme Court told CNN no justices were in attendance on Sunday, though members of the High Court may have previously gone to the Mass. The D.C. Metropolitan Police Department said in a statement, the suspect, Louis Gary, a 41-year-old from Vineland, New Jersey, faces preliminary charges of unlawful entry, threatened to kidnap or injure a person, and possession of a Molotov cocktail. Officers assigned to protect the event approached Gary, who had set up a tent on the steps of the Capitol just before 6 a.m. They arrested him after he refused to vacate. The FBI told CNN in a statement there was no threat to the public as the investigation is ongoing. Cardinal Robert McElroy during the Mass says he hopes members of the Supreme Court can help bring hope back to an era that he said has witnessed a dramatic collapse of faith in institutions of all kinds. It comes days after the person who admitted to trying to kill Brett Kavanaugh was sentenced to just over 8 years in prison. And I just have to wonder. What would the headline at NBC News be about Nicholas Roski? If Bari Weiss was the editor-in-chief there, we're not going to know. She's going to be the editor-in-chief at CBS and potentially, very potentially, CNN. And I bet we'll start seeing a big difference, and I bet it will translate into ratings growth for CBS News and potentially even CNN if the Paramount CNN deal goes through, as a lot of Americans realize, these networks are recommitting themselves to truth and sanity and not just progressive talking points. Look at News Nation, which is now regularly beating CNN and MSNBC on the weekends and growing on the weekdays. It's a network that is just committed to straight, balanced, down-the-middle news. Americans seem to want truth right now, neither conservative nor partisan spin. They just want to know what's going on. They know how to think. They can think for themselves. They just need to know what's going on. And too much of the press on both sides, frankly, is more interested in propaganda than truth. So Bari Weiss and CBS and potentially weaving CNN into this could really stand out by giving people just the news, not the punditry.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
121 in the Coolray carrier. Traffic center west side perimeter seeing a little trouble. Stall blocking a right lane 285 south. The outer loop I-20 that's exit 10 and on I-20 right before the perimeter. We got a right lane blocked with some trouble. You'll see it. You'll see the flashing lights I-20 eastbound Fulton Industrial exit 49. This report sponsored by Blindster.com. Blindster.com is a family business making custom blinds, shades, and shutters. Give them a try and see why over 1 million windows of trusted Blindster. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
It doesn't have to be like this.
You don't have to put up with it.
Shutting down the ramp from 285 east.
You don't have to sit in it.
It takes almost 30 minutes to go 400 south.
And you don't have to look at your phone to get out of it.
It is Atlanta traffic, and getting you out of it is what we do best.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
Updated traffic as often as you need it from local traffic reporters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's a jackknife tractor trailer.
Triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB.
How Atlanta gets there.
Everybody needs to increase their protein intake. It's good for you, and I got a great deal for you. Go to omahasteaks.com today. Take advantage of the early Black Friday sale where the whole site, 50% off. Select favorites are 20% off. And then you get an extra $35 off with promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K, at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. Let me recommend the chicken skewers with vegetables. They're already prepared for you. Or the Air Chill boneless chicken breasts. Great high protein. They've got such great stuff. You can even get a giant package of 32 chicken breasts and 32 pork chops. Incredible, incredible savings shipped to your door. Great meal prep options. All of that available. And it's the early Black Friday sale, so you've already stocked it up for your family's holidays. Go to omahasteaks.com today. $35 off with your promo code ERIC at checkout, plus 50% off site-wide and 20% off select favorites.
When your air conditioner or furnace breaks down, the last thing you need is more surprises. That's why at Jape Services, you'll always get a free estimate with honest, upfront pricing. Hi, this is Daniel Jape, and we've helped thousands of your friends and neighbors with their heating and cooling needs, and our reputation depends on offering the best solution. Whether you need maintenance, repairs, or a new system, call the company you can trust, Jape Services.
Count on us, Jape Services.
At Coosa Valley Credit Union, we believe in the power of human connection. When you call us or stop in a location, you're always greeted by a real person who's friendly and ready to make your banking experience stress-free. This is Andy Harris. If you're tired of automated tellers, come see us at Coosa Valley Credit Union.
If you've ever organized your closet only to have it look like a bomb went off in there 1 month later, then it's time to call Artisan Custom Closets. Dave Baker here with a custom spacious closet from Artisan. You'll never have to deal with all that clutter again. ArtisanCustomClosets.com.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
On the go, take Eric's podcast with you. Available wherever you stream your favorite podcast. Search Eric Erickson.
Hello, my friends. It is Eric Erickson here. I want to take some questions from the audience here. Bill in Ocean Pines, Maryland, be patient with me. I want to get to you as soon as we come back. I just looked at the clock. I ran along in the last segment. I apologize. Thanks for being patient. I will get to you because you're relevant to what I'm going to talk about anyway. When we come back, ICE. The president tried to send the National Guard to Portland, Oregon. A Trump-appointed judge blocked him. He was going to mobilize the Oregon National Guard. She says you can't. So then he says I'm going to mobilize the California National Guard and send them to Oregon. She says you can't do that either. He wants to. I suspect the judge is going to be overruled, by the way, by the Ninth Circuit. But also, ICE agents in Chicago were surrounded on all sides by Antifa protesters. They were attacked. And we now, over the weekend, have the receipts. The police chief for Chicago told the local police they were not allowed to help ICE. They were not allowed to rescue ICE. They were not allowed to participate in any way, shape, or form. That's right. That's where this heads. The Democrats are attacking members of ICE. They're being called the Gestapo. They're being called Nazis. They're being assaulted. They're being hunted. Their families being hunted. And the Democrats keep upping the ante. At some point, there's going to have to be a response. We'll get to that when we come back. Take Bill's phone call to kick us off from Maryland. Y'all, I've got to tell you, I am a big fan of Americans for Prosperity, and energy regulation has got to be eased in this country. They're backing a bipartisan, common sense conservative plan. And yes, Actually, a lot of red state Democrats, the remaining ones in Congress, realize this is a good thing. It would deregulate energy permitting in this country. Progressives have made it very cumbersome to get pipelines done, to build nuclear power plants and other power plants. There's a bipartisan plan, but it's got to get your support. You can go to AFPvolunteer.com today and sign up with AFP, and then check out the plan at prosperityispossible.com. Prosperityispossible.com is the landing page to get you active on the permitting reform issue. It's not a very sexy issue, sounds like, except it will pay huge dividends in this country if we can engage in regulatory reform for permits. But to do it, you have got to go to prosperityispossible.com and sign up with AFP today, become part of their army of activists, and call your members of Congress to support what, again, is a bipartisan, common sense plan to make it easier to build pipelines and power plants in the United States. ProsperityIsPossible.com. Go sign up with AFP today.
Hey, join us starting at 5 Tuesday for Atlanta's Morning News. Clark Howard bucks the conventional wisdom on EVs. Atlanta marks 2 years since October 7th, and it's the final week of our Bonus Blitz contest on 95.5 WSB.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hello, good afternoon. It's 1:30. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. We're going to start with this. A woman was killed today in Rockdale County. According to police, the shooting happened on Salem Road around 8 this morning. Police arrived on scene. They found the woman with a gunshot wound. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. So far, no arrests have been made, but police tell us this appears to be a domestic incident. All right, your weather for today. It's going to be a dreary day. Cloudy, breezy, cool, light rain showers and areas of drizzle throughout the day. Highs around 74. Some of the winds could be gusting up to 25 miles an hour. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast with WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards straight ahead. The acting director of the CDC has now signed off on new vaccine recommendations. The COVID-19 vaccine recommendations have now been downgraded. It's no longer recommended that everybody get the shot. It's now based on what's called shared clinical decision-making, meaning that you are urged to talk to your doctor or pharmacist before you get the COVID shot. And when it comes to the question of who's paying for it, insurance, well, private health plans and federal entitlement programs have to cover vaccines recommended with shared clinical decision-making. The CDC director also, acting CDC director, also signing off today on the advisory committee's on immunization practices recommendations that children get that chickenpox vaccine separate from the MMR vaccine. Now let's talk about your job. A new congressional report on artificial intelligence and automation shows that it could replace some 100 million jobs over the next 10 years. This finds that technology could replace 89% of fast food workers, 64% of all accountants, and more than half of all truck drivers. This just in, the Cobb County Sheriff's Office telling us that they have a new addition to their canine unit. Liberty is an 11-month-old bloodhound who Sheriff Craig Owens says has advanced training skills to assist in locating missing people and suspects. Liberty is partnered with Deputy Barry Bales, a 17-year veteran with the Sheriff's Office who served as a canine handler for the past 3 years. It's 1:32.
Fall is a busy time and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. With Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer, you can receive the strongest cash offer in the industry and move when you're ready. Mark Spain Real Estate has more than 13,000 five-star reviews, so you can trust the top real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home quickly and for maximum profit. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Looking for your next great adventure? At Capital Investment Advisors, we know travel isn't just a vacation. It's a core pursuit that fuels happiness. In fact, research shows happy retirees pursue nearly twice as many adventure-related core pursuits as unhappy retirees. That's why we created 101 trips to take in retirement. A free guide with luxury escapes, wellness retreats, cultural immersions, and trips for the grandkids. Download your copy today at yourwealth.com/101 trips.
If you're a home builder or a contractor, you know that downtime equals lost money. Dave Baker here. Randall Brothers has your back with the widest selection of building materials in the city and Randall Brothers gets the right materials to the right place on time so you won't incur downtime. They are pros who can answer your questions and find the right fit for your needs. Randall Brothers, widest selection, industry expertise, accurate, no-hassle deliveries. RandallBrothers.com.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health, and I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Like lots of potentially serious health problems, if you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a longer life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make you this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
All right, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Andrew Seco in the 24-hour traffic center.
A little slow downtown, 75-85 south. That volume taking you from 17th Street down towards I-20. And some trouble off to the shoulder out of Buford. You'll see the flashing lights and those brake lights. 95 southbound at Buford Drive, exit 4. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies with areas of light rain and drizzle. Today's high is 74. Lows tonight in the mid-60s.
It is 75 degrees in Dallas. Roswell has 73. Winder, 74 degrees. More news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. 95.5 WSB.
Well, I'm not a sports show. Kind of glad, because I don't really want to talk about Butt Fumble Sanchez and his weekend in Indianapolis. Good gracious. I was like, surely this can't be, but yep, I tell you, you leave your life as a Jets player, you go out, well, like the Jets. Wow. Okay. We got to go back to the phones as promised. I want to take Bill's call. I've been waiting patiently in Ocean Pines, Maryland. So, Bill, to start, first of all, thanks for being patient. Where is Ocean Pines?
Ocean Pines is on Maryland's beautiful eastern shore.
It is, by the way. You say beautiful. Folks, if y'all haven't been that area, it is gorgeous. My sister and brother-in-law used to live up in the Tidewater region in Virginia, and I have gotten up to the Maryland area as well there. It's a pretty place up there.
It's a beautiful place to live, and they say that living is good on the Eastern Shore. It's the land of pleasant living.
Well,
that was a beer ad.
Well, excellent. All right, so that I'm not going to hold you hostage to talking about Ocean City, but I know you wanted to talk about the federal property and the troops protecting federal property.
Yeah, I told your screener my name was Big Beautiful Bill, but he didn't pass that on to you. But the question I had was, with all of these military troops being sent into all of these cities, crime is no question. It's come down, and people are feeling safer. But how long will the military have to be there?